This is David Crone with HorseRacingNation.com with a little preview of the Arkansas Derby. Another big prep race this weekend, April 10th. This is the last real week of Derby preps, and we got some serious Derby contenders in here. We got a couple horses off Horse Racing Nation's Derby Power Rankings. The 6th ranked horse, Dublin. Number 7, Noble's Promise. We have number 24, Super Saver. Number 32, Northern Giant. And in number 48 is Pulsion. So those are all user-created rankings. Make sure you get on there and rate these horses if you think they're overrated, underrated. I think we got a little bit of both in this race. I think, Dublin and Noble's Promise both have big shots in here. Both may be a little overrated when you talk 6th and 7th best Derby contenders. But let's break down the pace and then we'll get further into this thing. The pace in here looks like it could get really high. There's a lot of speed in here, and to me, that says these speed horses might have some serious trouble here. You start with Super Saver on the rail. This horse only knows going to the lead. Made the lead in the Tampa Bay Derby. Made the lead in the Kentucky Jockey Club. Was on the lead in the Champagne Stakes last year. He has a lot of speed and he's going to use it. You then also got horses like New Madrid, a little bit cheap, but he's got speed. Line of David has a lot of speed. Even a horse like Bango has a pretty good amount of speed. Then you get to the horses like Noble's Promise, Northern Giant. Those horses are going to be right off the pace. And Pulsion, who knows where he's going to be. He had always been way out of it. All of a sudden, he was on the lead in the Florida Derby. So this pace looks like it's going to get hot. To me, I'm not going to take any of those legitimate, real need the speed types. I think you got to take something that's going to be closing a little bit. So the horses that become real obvious in that scenario are Noble's Promise and Dublin. They both have huge chances here. Noble's Promise dances every dance. He never runs a bad race. He ran a great second in the Cash Call Futurity. He was 3rd in the Juvenile. He won the Breeders' Futurity last year. This horse just always shows up to run and always runs big. He's the horse to beat in here, even though Super Saver's 9-5 on the morning line. Noble's Promise is the horse to beat in here. But the horse I'm going to take in here is Dublin. Dublin at 7-2 on the morning line, to me, looks like a lot of value. He got a bad ride last time out in the Rebel. He moved way too early, came up a little bit empty down the stretch. With a better ride, Terry Thompson back on, I think Dublin has a huge shot in here. To me, he's going to sit off the pace. He looks like he's going to get a great trip in here. I think he's the one to beat. Noble's Promise you have to respect, you have to use. But there's also a lot of long shots in here that are really live. This is one of the deeper Derby preps we've seen in the fact that there's 5 or 6 of them that really legitimately could win in here. Horses like Northern Giant and Pulsion are really threats to win this thing at 8 to 15 to 1, Northern Giant ran huge in the Lane's End. In my opinion, he was the best horse in the Lane's End. I picked him, so that might influence my opinion a little bit, but he made a huge move on the turn. He looked like he was going to go on by. He came up a little empty in the stretch, and Dean's Kitten kind of re-rallied and won the race. But I think Northern Giant could be sitting on a good race in here. He's a really live long shot at 8 to 1. Even a horse like Pulsion, he's only run twice as a 3-year-old. In the Fountain of Youth, he ran into Escandrea, who's an absolute freak, and he didn't run great, but everything out of the Fountain of Youth has come back to run amazing. Then he went to the Florida Derby. He was on the lead. The pace absolutely fell apart, and he had never made the front before. So sitting off the pace a little bit, Pulsion is a real live horse in here at 15 to 1. So I'm going to say take Dublin in here, and then, use Noble's Promise, Northern Giant, use Pulsion, use Bango. Hope they run Super Saver out of this thing, and you can probably get a pretty nice try in here. So that's what I think of the Arkansas Derby. Another great Derby prep. We're getting close. We're only 3 weeks out from the Derby. Make sure you go to HorseRacingNation.com. We're going to have all kinds of awesome Derby content. We've got the power rankings. We're going to have all kinds of other interesting stuff in the next few weeks. So make sure to check that out and check out the YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you soon.